Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, and the lesson of this, the title of this lesson is inspired by the theme of the vibration of the world today. And yes, we're always talking about the end of the world. Yes, we're always, bringing out these precepts. Yes, we're always going over it and over it and over it again. And that's because that's our job. All right. That's what the Lord commanded us to do. As a matter of fact, let me start off there before I get into the the direction of the title of this lesson. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 6. And it says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. Because let me ask you this. As somebody in a city, would you rather a watchman that is constantly warning or one that doesn't warn at all? Right? You may have a watchman that, declares whatever he sees that looks like a potential threat. And you'd rather have him than have one that, I ain't gonna, I said it last week, so if I see this week, I ain't gonna say nothing. Because what happens if this week is it? You don't say anything. All right, but the Lord commanded us here, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which will never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, what? Keep not silence. So we're supposed to keep on making mention of the Lord, of the prophecies, of the scriptures. All right, and keep on giving warning, because there are constantly people that are coming across these channels and coming across these pages and that haven't maybe heard the things that you may have heard a million times over before. And so what is our job? To keep on teaching. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 7. And the point is really in verse 8. And the reason I'm here in Matthew 24 is because when you look around you, and everybody who has any form of just a regular mind can tell that things are in a very, very chaotic state. All right, people are in a deadly cold mindset. I just saw a video. The elder brother Baqar did a video on it, and I believe Apostle Kabar might have also done a video on it. But of this individual who ended up shooting his, I think he shot his pregnant, if I'm saying it right, he shot his pregnant girlfriend, and then killed and went and shot his ex-wife, and then he shot himself. All right, either that or he shot his ex-girlfriend, and then his ex-wife was the one that was pregnant. But I got a little mixed up, but you can always look it up. Nevertheless, he kills both women that he dealt with, and then he took himself out. Okay, and that's the Lord putting that spirit upon the earth, because that is the theme of the phase that the world is in right now, the time of Jacob's trouble. And in order for these prophecies to be fulfilled, and I'm talking about the detailed ones, and on a lower level of the actions certain people are going to be taking, the Lord needs to put a certain kind of spirit on those people to go and commit those actions. Because you may look at an individual and be like, well, yeah, these people are, they're wild, but they're not that wild. Well, just you wait. Because how does an individual go from wild to that wild? The Most High puts that wild spirit on them, and then they do it. So when you read the scriptures of women getting ravished, cannibalism, people killing one another, the love of many waxing cold, that's because the Lord is going to put that wild spirit on people through the desperation, through the hard times, through the chaos. That's why I said, because iniquity, lawlessness, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So Matthew 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And we're seeing that now. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. which we're also seeing that now. Now, yes, we're seeing these things now, but it doesn't mean that, okay, they're happening now, so that's it, they're not going to happen again. No, they're happening now, as in they've been ushered in. And as the 8th verse says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Meaning these evils, these sorrows, they're going to grow. They're going to climb. They're going to get worse. The famines are going to get worse. The earthquakes are going to get worse. The pestilences are going to get worse. The chaos, all these are beginning of sorrows. The wars and rumors of wars. You have right now is real hot between Russia and NATO. Okay. Israel and Iran. All right. So things are getting, real intensified. But as the Lord said, these are the beginning of sorrows. So as people, and the thing is, the world for a long time, right? For a very long time, the people in the world have been in this ignorant state of mind. Okay. And let's get that real quick. Isaiah 60:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So the darkness was so strong that even us at one point were caught up in it. Now we had that feeling of, things not being right, but it wasn't on a level high enough for us to be awake, truly awake, right? So we would be tossing and turning. We couldn't really sleep, but yet we weren't awake until the Lord called us into this truth. And then we woke up, all right, and understood why we couldn't really sleep. Nevertheless, this world is in that, or for a long period of time, they've been in that gross darkness. And how so? Because Esau, through his deception, his sorcery, his witchcraft, has been able to keep people in that gross, dark, ignorant mindset. But now what is the Lord doing? Okay, and this is where the big problems lie. The resistance. Isaiah 25:7, he says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So when the Lord destroys that, now people are starting to open up their eyes and piece things here and piece things there. And how is it starting? With the prophets, where Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is sending out the prophets to go and preach and teach and prophesy. And more people are hearing it. And whether they're Israelites or not, whether they're Israelites that repent or they're heathens, the thought enters their head. And depending on what enters your head, guess what? Even you may not agree with it, you may not believe it, but it doesn't mean that it just disappears from your mind. So when you walk around and you hear the MOTB and we're breaking it down, no, these guys are bugging. I don't even believe in the Bible. But guess what? When you look on TV and you see them talking about that charagma, you're going to remember, oh shit, that's probably what they were talking about, because that's going to stay in your head. And eventually it starts to influence people, okay, in a certain way. So people are now starting to ask questions. They're starting to be cautious. Nah, hold up. Nah. I don't want to do this. They're doing this. And that resistance, okay, is causing a big problem for these devils. Because now they're realizing, the deception, which we did for so long, that smoothness, the road is getting bumpy now because these people are waking up. All right. Our covering is being broken. The spell is being broken, and now we need to use force. Now they see us for who we actually are. And that's why they're running out of time. And that's why they're moving so fast. But you would have, as was prophesied, right, in the book of 2 Thessalonians, that you would have the falling away. And during that period, we were under the gross darkness. But then the Lord will break that off of us. Okay. And you would have the man of sin being exposed, being revealed. And that's what's happening now. Okay. And after that man of sin, in the process of him being revealed, the truth is coming out and people are starting to wake up. Okay. And that's going to lead, or as we can see now, it's leading to that chaos, because now it's these elites trying to force their agenda, people actually waking up and saying, yo, hold up, no, we're not with it. So now there's chaos, there's backlash. All right, it escalates to a violent level. But it's all been prophesied in the scriptures, and people are actually seeing it now. You know, now they're not seeing it all the way, but they're seeing or understanding that things are getting bad. And each day that goes by, the dreams and the hopes of going back to the old quote unquote normal are disappearing. And it's not coming back anymore. It's getting to the point where people are almost forgetting what normal is. They can't identify what normal is anymore. They don't recognize normal. Is not wearing a mask normal? Is wearing a mask normal? Is me having to go get the juicy juice the normal? Is that what makes things normal again? Like, well, what people are messed up. They're messed up. They're all messed up. They're messed up all over the place. Okay. But this is all leading to the destruction that's coming. And there's that one of those biggest prophecies that we're waiting for. And we always say it, but when it actually happens, it's gonna be like we could have never said it enough. Right? Every time we talk about the MOTB, it's like, oh, here we go. Oh, you gotta mention it every video. Oh my goodness, I've heard it so many times. Yeah. But you know what's gonna happen? When they actually bring it out, they're gonna be like, I wish you would have said it more. You know, I wish, but they ain't going. The Lord ain't a fairy. Okay. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, and I'm just gonna hit the point or start at verse 6. It says, "And I heard a voice," and this is actually taking place. All right, Revelation 6:6 is taking place, which is inflation, and you may have people, well, where's inflation in the Bible? Well, we're going to read it now. Okay, Revelation chapter 6, verse 6, it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." Okay, now when you go into it, you know, as Apostle Tahar actually did a video on it not long ago, but when you look up the word penny, once again, you see how you got it. Now, say you didn't know, you didn't have the ability to look into these words, and you didn't know any Greek or any of that. You'd be looking at this and saying, well, how is this inflation? Because wouldn't this be the prices of things going down? Because a measure of wheat for a penny, that's pretty cheap. But when you actually go into the word penny, I believe it's denarion or denarius. Let's see, the word there is in the Greek. Yep, denarion, which is, it says containing 10, or denarius containing 10, but the word here is denarion. And it says a Roman silver coin in New Testament time. And when you jump down, the point that I want to get is, it says it was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. Okay, so a day's wages is the ordinary pay. That was the penny. Because when the parable, when the Lord called those men to work, right, in his I think his vineyard, if I'm not mistaken, and he said he would give them a penny a day. If you think about it now, why would I go work for a penny? Well, excuse me? Like, what am I going to buy with 1 cent? That's because the word penny is not equivalent to the American penny. Okay, but it's the Roman denarius, which is equivalent to a day's wages. So today, if you get, you know, depending on what your average job is, you know, but you know, if you get anywhere like 100 and somewhat a day, maybe you work, I don't know, a 7-hour shift, right? Let's do some quick maths, right? 7-hour shift, and let's say you get maybe like $20 an hour, right? 20 times 7, that's about $140 an hour, slakia, a day. And that's before tax, because you know these wicked demons. Nevertheless, about $140 a day. That's a day's wages in today's in today's time, $140, right? Just for example's sake. So now you got a measure of wheat for $140, you know, now it doesn't sound so cheap, right? It says, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So these are things that the measure of wheat, 3 measures of barley, these are things that would cost you like almost like grocery shopping. Okay. But now when you gotta go buy, you know, a few items, 1 or 2 items, and that joint is about $100 and somewhat, that's inflation. Okay. So that's actually happening now. It's going to get worse. It's going to turn into hyperinflation. So yes, it's in the Bible, but now you're not going to see the word inflation in here. Okay. You're not going to see the word hyperinflation in here. So people, oh, well, it doesn't say hyperinflation. So that's, I guess that's just that, you know, that's it. That's the end of the story. Okay. So you go on believing that and you deal with it. And it says, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, and the oil and the wine represents this truth. All right, this knowledge. Okay. Verse 7, it says, and now this inflation that we're reading about, that's going to turn into hyperinflation. Eventually, what is that going to do to the nation's currency or the nation's economy? All right. Eventually, that's going to lead to the crashing. All right. The destruction, the downfall, the messing up. All right, of a nation's economic system. And that's also in here. All right, this economic crash. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and 10. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second. Now, these locations, the fish gate, the second, you know, these were actual locations back then. Right? Like, I don't need, what's a modern day example for it? Say today we'll say Wall Street, right? When we say Wall Street, you know where that's at. You know, that's in Manhattan. You know where that's at. That's a place that we refer to today, right? So if we were to say, you know, there's going to come a time when people are going to be screaming out on Wall Street, you know, wilding out, you know, oh, okay, we know where Wall Street is. Okay, it's an actual place in our time. Okay, so it's not like any deep breakdown to the fish gate. Well, what's that mean? Is there like a gate that turns into a fish somewhere and you got to feed it with water or something? No, it's a place, right? And it says, and then howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Okay, and the hills represent forms of government. Okay, because when you go throughout the scriptures, that sometimes you come across the word mountain, and it will be referring to an actual mountain. But there's other times when you come across the word mountain in the scriptures, and it's metaphorically, but it's referring onto a government. All right, like a governmental structure. Okay, so a hill, which is like a lesser mountain, is also another form of a government. So that great crashing from the hills is you're gonna have these governments being toppled, you know, coming down, crashing, leading to chaos. Because when you read in these devil's agendas, their plan to fulfill their quote unquote socialist / communist agenda is to topple and destroy the world's governments so that they can break it all down to a level playing field and they can build it back up, all in a pyramid type structure under them. Okay. Verse 11, it says, howl, ye inhabitants of Maktish, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. And the Maktish is like the modern day Wall Street, where you would have people of various, coming from various areas to come and trade over there. Okay, so the modern day Maktish would be likened onto Wall Street, right? It says, for all the merchant people are cut down, because who are the ones that would come and trade there? The merchant people, right? People that own stocks and so on and so forth, that are in investors and stuff like that, right? But it says they are cut off, because how do they get their power, which is then their money? Through the trading But when that crashes, they're not going to have any more of that. It says, all they that bear silver are cut off. See, so that's how bad it's going to get when all these things start crashing, when the lack of work, okay? Right now, this stock market is not reflecting the actual economic condition. It's not. And if you do the research, you'll find out that it's totally disconnected. All right. Or else the things you'd be hearing, the numbers, they would be completely different. But there's something right now. It's a fixed market. It's not a free market. It's a fixed market. So they're able to manipulate what you see. All right. So when you should panic, it looks like you shouldn't. And when you shouldn't, that's when you should. Or that's when it looks like you should. And that's how they get the people. So they're always one step ahead of them. Nevertheless, guess what? This is all going to happen as well. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Revelation chapter 6. And we finished on verse 6. Now verse 7. It says, so you have that inflation, you have that chaos. It says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. Hell, the word hell is not a place where you go and burn forever after you die. Hell simply represents the grave, okay? And in the other sense, it represents a condition, okay? A bad condition. It says, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with a sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. And this is going to be happening during the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so really it's a representation of the destruction that the Lord is going to bring. Verse 9, it says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And this happened back then with the various apostles. All right, James, Peter, Paul. Okay, and they were slain for the testimony. And in this time, you're also going to have that happen, because you're also going to have martyrs in this time. It says, verse 10, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Yeah, because, constantly, time and time again, what do you have? You have the prophets come out and they get put to death, or they get harmed, or they get messed up and ridiculed because of the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But guess what? The answer to their cries is here. After the Lord destroys this place. Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And these people here, the servants, the saints, them that fear thy name, that's talking about the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. However, this isn't the one I was looking for. The one I'm looking for, let's see, it might be in Revelation 18, but let's see. There we go. Revelation chapter 18, verse 20. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. See, so when we were back in Revelation 6, that's what we were complaining about. Okay, and when this place gets destroyed, okay, that's when the Lord is going to avenge us on Babylon. Okay, and so let's read it again. Revelation 6 and 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And the Lord we had to suffer for a period of time, which is almost over now, for certain prophecies to be fulfilled. So the ultimate judgment won't hit this place until that MOTB comes out and is made mandatory. It's spread out worldwide. And then comes the true destruction, which is going to be by way of World War III, those thermonuclear missiles, and the lasers that are going to come from the chariots. Okay, verse 11, and white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, which represents the nuclear missiles. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Yeah, because when you read, I believe in the book of Joel, and also I want to say the book of Amos, it talks about the day of the Lord being darkness and not light. Because what's one of the factors that's going to cause the darkness? When all those missiles get launched up into the air, they're going to block out the sun. Like in the movie 300, when they shot all those arrows out up into the air, and you can see it got dark. Okay, so it's going to rain. The missiles are going to rain down. Those nuclear warheads are going to rain down. It says here, and the stars of heaven fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And that's also talking about the missiles. Okay. Verse 14, and the heaven shall depart as a scroll when it is rolled together, which the appearance of that would be a mushroom cloud. You could look up a mushroom cloud. It says, because John wasn't going to say it's going to look like a mushroom cloud, because that terminology wasn't used back then. Okay, it says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. All right, which that's going to actually happen because of the destruction. You're going to have the destruction is going to cause earthquakes, tsunamis. All right, and it's going to actually destroy landscapes. And mainly America, all right, is going to be one of those land masses that's going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth, meaning it's going to be made a desert. The scriptures talk about, I believe in Isaiah 34, it describes it about America being the altar, and the Lord is going to put upon it the line of confusion. So once this place is gone, it's just going to be like a desert. It's going to burn and burn and burn, but then it's pretty much going to be like a desert. You ain't going to be able to tell, oh, New York from Jersey. Ain't going to be none of that. Okay? It says here, verse 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, going into their doomsday bunkers, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. It says, for the great, and that's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So that's where we're headed. So come and witness the end of the world, because what you're seeing now is the beginning of sorrows that's going to lead into what we just read now, which is going to be the end of sorrows. And what is that going to be? When the Lord avenges us upon this place by destroying this place, taking down this beast system, and setting up the kingdom of heaven. All right. So with that, I hope you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.